We're live? Yeah, we're live. Let's go.
All right, guys. What up?
All right. Yeah, we're here to talk about Auburn's new hire, Alex Golish from South Florida, a guy who's come up as a recruiting coordinator and an offensive guy, put up huge numbers at USF over the past 3 years, kind of resurrected that program. I think it was 4 wins in 3 years before he arrived, and 9-3 this year, averaging over 500 yards per game and 43 points per game. That ranks number 2 nationally, number 5 nationally. So the guy can put up the numbers offensively.
Yeah, absolutely. And if you're looking for an offensive guy, an up and coming offensive guy, I think this is your guy for sure. He was with Heupel
Yes.
at Central Florida in 2020, and they had a very good offense then. And then he goes with Heupel to Tennessee. They have a really good offense the first year. They have the number 1 offense in the country the second year. And so that's in the SEC. If you're looking for a guy to score points, I think this would be this guy would have been near the top of the list, if not the top of the list. For me personally, I wanted a tough guy. I've been talking about this. I've been wanting, another Pat Dye, which is hard to find. Obviously, Auburn's been looking for one for a long time. But I think Golesh is a tough guy. I think he's a tough coach who's going to produce a team that plays some tough-ass football. They like to run the football, and I think he's going to be a tough individual that creates players that are tough-minded, and I think that's what Auburn really needs. The expectation is that they're going to keep DJ. That deal is not in place. They're hoping that that's going to be put in place here pretty quickly. Golesh is open to it. DJ, in theory, is open to it, but I'm sure he's a little sore right now because he wants to be the head coach at Auburn, and he did some good work here, both as a coordinator and interim head coach. So, we'll just have to see how that plays out. But that's the expectation, is that that's going to be able to work.
Maybe we should go back a little bit, maybe take a step back and just talk about how we got here, because maybe 72 hours ago or whatever, this would be kind of a surprise, I think, for all three of us, right? I think we saw this maybe going a different way, and now it's, Golesh has really popped up in the last, yes, he's been on our list, but him as the leading candidate has just happened really, to me, maybe also differently in the last 24 or so hours. Or 48 hours.
When Summerall, the situation went south with him, godly, Hoke, you may disagree. I don't know, 2 or 3 days ago, it started kind of deteriorating.
I can walk you through it as concise as I can.
Sure.
Because I know the Summerall side and I know the Auburn side. I would say you go back a week. I would say you go back to last weekend, and things started to shift regarding Summerall and Auburn. Just to say, for like the millionth time, Summerall did not sign anything. He had never signed anything. So it's never done until something's signed. So last weekend, stuff started to shift where, and that night, I remember making a post on the board saying, hey, he's still talking to Florida. He's still talking to Ole Miss. He's still asking people about what they think about Auburn, what they think about Florida. And something shifted. From the Auburn perspective, they felt like communication started to become sparse. The responses were slower, and they started it was just not the same sort of rapid communication. And they started to go, all right, what's going on? Because there started to be, hours and hours would go by between a response. And they're like, what's the deal here? And then a couple of days later is when Summerall supposedly, according to Auburn, started asking questions to Auburn that they had not heard before. Concerns about, well, do I need to keep DJ? Maybe I needed my own guy. So I think early on, Summerall gave the impression he would keep DJ. He didn't promise anything, but he gave the impression that he would. And according to sources at Auburn, within the last week, he started to say, maybe I shouldn't keep DJ. Maybe I need my own staff. I don't know about my own guy. I don't know about your guy in there. That makes me uncomfortable. Whatever his reasons were, according to Auburn, he started relaying that, and that was confusing to them. Summerall's side of it has been what we've read a little bit, which is Summerall is telling people that these coaches were being forced on him. So when you read the narrative of coaches being forced on him, that's coming from Summerall. what's true, I continue to believe that John Cohen was not forcing him to hire DJ Durkin. I even heard that from the Summerall side early on. I never heard the forcing language, even from the Summerall side early on. All of a sudden, the last week, some narrative shifted with what Summerall was putting out there. So
Talk to his agent.
I don't know exactly why it went wrong. Here's my personal opinion. My personal opinion is that he was in a good place with Auburn. And when it looked like Florida and Ole Miss were going to become viable options, he started to second guess his decision about Auburn for whatever reason, and started to slow play Auburn to feel out those offers. That's what I think. That's what I think happened, and which is what I warned about with 2 weeks ago. I thought it was going to be Ole Miss. It developed into Florida when Florida realized they weren't going to get Lane. But I was like 2 weeks ago, if Auburn doesn't have this wrapped up, it's going to get complicated. And sure enough, that's kind of what happened. So I don't know why I think Florida came to the table with a really strong offer beyond the Durkin stuff. I just don't think the Durkin stuff is why Summerall didn't choose Auburn, because we know that Alex Golish still has to meet with DJ. No, I haven't heard anything about Golesh being forced to hire DJ Durkin. So why would he? So I don't think that's the reason it fell through. I think Summerall, for whatever reason, felt uncomfortable with Auburn. Whether he thought, who do I report to? The past history with Auburn. What does that look like? I think some things got in his head on top of Florida coming in with a really strong offer and offering him full autonomy and all that. And he pivoted, and Auburn felt like he was being slow played. And so then that thing kind of fell apart. By Wednesday, that pretty much fell apart, I would say, by probably certainly Thursday, which is why Friday morning I put on the board like this is going in the wrong direction for sure. He was telling people by Friday, I'm done with Auburn. And clearly that was the case. And I think Auburn was kind of done with him. If Summerall had come crawling back, if Florida didn't work out and Summerall came crawling back, I don't even know if that would have worked, because there was just the way that sort of went down was not great. But Alex Golish was always there. So Saturday is when I was told, when I put up those 5 names, Golesh, Durkin, Dillingham, Summerall, or Drinkowitz. Summerall and Drinkowitz were long shots. It was really, it was Golesh or Durkin going into that game is really what it was.
Yeah.
And so if Auburn would have won the Iron Bowl, would it have been DJ? Who knows? I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I don't have a way of knowing that. We're just predicting and trying to read the future there. But in the end, man, I like the Golesh hire. Matter of fact, I've never been gung-ho about any of these guys. I don't know if y'all have been loved one guy. I've never thought one guy was necessarily a home run, but I really like Golesh. I think if you can retain Durkin, that's a really good start to me. If you look at the offensive history of Golesh, if you look at the kind of coach he is, look at his background, Russian born, comes to America, loves football, picks it up, has this passion for it. And from talking to people that know Golesh, they describe him as a really intense coach, but a steady coach. Whereas I would describe Summerall as passionate / hothead. They're different. So I don't know. I think the potential for Golesh and a staff could be, if you retain Durkin, you start with Golesh and Durkin. I think that's a good start, man. I mean, Built USF was garbage, dude. That program was in the dumps, man.
Super bad.
And he won with them. He's developed quarterbacks. There's a lot to like there. I get people kind of don't know much about him, but there's potential there. I mean, I can see it. I can see it developing. We'll see what the staff looks like,
And he was recruiting coordinator at Iowa State when they were coming along under Matt Campbell. I mean, he's done this. Yeah.
Yeah, I like that he has a long track record of being a recruiting coordinator, really involved in that side of things. I think that's so important for Auburn as a head coach competing in the SEC. I think, and I haven't really dug deep into it, but I think he was still calling plays at USF, so that's going to be something interesting to watch there. We know how that can go. I'm pretty sure he's calling plays on first, second, and third down, but we'll check into that a
That's the
little bit
key.
closer.
That's the key. What downs are you calling the plays? It's really is what we need to know.
Oh my goodness!
And I think folks know that. I mean, Cody Burns is his co-coordinator there.
Yes, that's
and
right.
you'd assume Cody's coming back, and that'll be interesting too. He's a pretty popular player in the annals of Auburn history.
Yes.
Considered a very selfless dude.
Yep.
Part of that 2010 team, and obviously the teams before that when he was playing quarterback. So
yeah, even the Cam Newton 2-part series they had on Warrigal Plus, if I'm not mistaken, had a big part on Cody Burns and his sacrifice to move from quarterback to wide receiver, and how that was a big moment for that team. So clearly that still resonates, 15 years later with that group.
Yeah, and he's been working his way up. I mean,
Yep.
he caught on with a good one here. South Florida was a offensive machine these last couple of years, particularly this year. So it's been good for Cody, and I know Gus will be very proud of him, B-Matt. Yeah, I knew you're going to be good. So, yeah, interesting stuff that Hoke's passing along there about Summerall, that kind of deteriorating. And I think at that point it becomes kind of a Golesh. You start looking a little bit more at Golesh.
Yeah.
Not that Cohen was always focused on Summerall only. I do think there were a few guys that they were really looking at. Dillingham involved there. Eli involved there as well. But
no question.
Maybe Clark Lee. They was looking pretty closely at Clark Lee like 2 weeks ago.
So when I posted on like a Tuesday that hey you need to pay closer attention to Clark Lee, Auburn was in Nashville visiting Clark Lee that day, and they liked him. He's impressive. He's the CEO coach. If you're going to hire a CEO coach, right, that's Clark Lee, and they liked him. I think it was a little bit of a fit thing. I'm not sure they wanted specifically a CEO coach. And so I think it was more of a fit thing. Franklin, they talked to James Franklin. That didn't really go anywhere. They liked him, but that was never really a fit. I think we all could see that's not a fit. The Bob Chesney stuff is, I don't know. They never talked to him. I don't know where that started coming from, by the way, around James Madison. Who else? I mean, Dillingham they talked to for sure multiple times. Drinkwitz early on, and he kind of remained in the mix a little bit, but he's sort of nobody's top choice, I would say. It really was Summerall. He was kind of the guy. I mean, he was the guy. Like, they were always talking to other people, including Golesh multiple times, but it was pretty focused on Summerall, and they thought they were going to get a deal done or get it to the finish line, and it shifted when those other opportunities were there. Things shifted. They are what they are. And so I just want to reiterate, I just would not put it on forcing Durkin. I just don't buy that. I don't think you're going to pick your number one head coaching candidate and then sabotage it by demanding he hire Durkin. I think that's a narrative, but I don't know. That's just me. I mean, that's just me. I think Summerall, his communication with Auburn changed so much that it felt like he got those other opportunities and started slow playing them. Because he started, there's other things. He started, from what I understand, he started asking Auburn, like in the last week, he would bring up, his agent was bringing up random stuff with Auburn. Like they were arguing about how many parking passes the family would get. And they're like literally that's a conversation that happened from Summerall's side, and Auburn was like, "What are we talking about? Why are we talking about parking passes?" Just weird stuff that fell off, and it all points to slow play. I mean, it all points to all of a sudden kind of bringing things up as concerns to sort of delay the situation. Maybe Auburn, maybe you get more from Auburn in the process and it works out, but to delay it as well and start to hear more from these other schools. And in the end, Summerall just felt like, I don't know, he just felt an uncomfortability with Auburn for whatever it was. But I personally don't see the big difference. Do y'all think Summerall's do you think Summerall's some big miss and like Golesh is about, like, I look at them,
Well,
I don't see Golesh as a backup plan and Summerall. Like, you can make the case for both those guys. I don't know.
yeah, I don't know how you can determine that right now. I mean, we've seen so many coaching searches just flop, and guys you thought were this great hires turn into, guys who were fired 3 years later. I just think it's going to be wait and see. I refuse to make a statement. This is a great hire. This is a terrible
Yeah.
hire. Who knows? You know, he's done some good things. He's got SEC experience. I like that. I will say that I'm skeptical about Auburn. What I've seen and heard through the years. Maybe JG is with me on that. Maybe he's more aligned with Justin on this, but I'm just more on the skeptical corner of the whole Summerall thing. But I don't think it's that big of a deal in the long run. Auburn's getting Golesh. He's an up and comer. He's a young guy. If they hit the mark with him, he could be Auburn's guy for the next 15 or 20 years, which is what Auburn sorely needs. Is one of those guys that can come here and just be a program changer and lead this university and this football program to competing for championships and winning games at night in Jordan-Hare Stadium against your biggest rivals, and not continuing to shoot the pooch on that.
Yeah, I'm with you. I mean, it takes the infrastructure, the resources, the staff.
Yep.
It's all gotta come together. Can I go over a couple of details real quick about Golesh, the hiring, money, and stuff?
Yeah, oh, yeah, it's great.
So he's going to be announced Monday. It's a 6-year deal. It will average about $7.5 million a year. The base salary is less than that, but it'll average over the course of the 6-year deal. It'll average 7.5. This will be a different deal, even more so different. So we've always had incentives, right? Like you make a bowl game, you get $200,000. This will be taking that up a notch. He's going to get major bonuses. So it averages about $7.5 million. But if he were to make, for every win over 8, he's getting heavy bonuses. So like if he gets to 9 wins, he's going to get $1.5 million more that year. Not like $200,000 more for an extra win. He's getting $1.5 million more if he gets to 9, if he gets to 10, if he gets to 11. It's like, I mean, you're talking about almost $1 million win over about 7. So like if he were to win, if he were to go undefeated, he'd make over $12 million.
You know what's interesting? Let me break in real quick about that. The early word on Florida's contract, John Summerall, $7.5 million with heavy incentives. So this appears to be the market, and that tends to make me look like maybe my skepticism is unwarranted about the part where Auburn was being accused of lowballing Summerall, because it seems like a very similar deal that Summerall's getting and that Auburn gave to Golesh, although Auburn could have shifted as we got to the end of their deadline too. We have to, keep that in mind.
Yeah, and Jay and I talked about this offline. I guess it's subjective. If Summerall felt like, because Jay and I heard that maybe Auburn's first offer was kind of not there. But that could be subjective. I was hearing that a little bit from Summerall's side. So maybe maybe Auburn's like, we thought it was actually healthy. Summerall's like, I think it was, some of what I heard was it was more about the buyout that initially that I was told that Auburn came up from their initial offer in terms of the buyout. But whether it was the initial offer or whatever, before things went south, I was told that the offer to Summerall from Auburn is very similar to what he got at Florida, and it's very similar to what they gave Golesh. Like at the end of the day, I was told they got there, and that the offer was very much
right.
I was told the base was going to be more than what he was being paid, and it was very incentive based. So I don't know what Florida's base is being reported. If Florida's paying him base over 7, that's a little more than what Auburn's going to pay. But from what I understand, that offer does not blow Auburn's out of the water. It's better, but it doesn't blow Auburn's out of the water. So I think any narrative that like Auburn lowballed and Florida came with this massive offer, probably not true. I think for Summerall it was a combination of, for his own reasons, feeling uncomfortable with Auburn combined with maybe a little bit better offer. But similar deals. But just that structure of major bonuses for wins is, is new. And then he's got playoff stuff in there too. Make the playoffs, there's even more incentives. So that's why I felt like I talked to somebody early in the process that kind of knows Cohen that thought that's what he would do. They were like, I think he's going to go about this trying to, one, not pay some base of $10 million, but like try to create a new, like something a little bit new, like give you a healthy base, but like really stack on the incentives even higher, which is what it needs to be with these coaches, man. These crazy base salaries that they're getting, like why do you need 10 million base? Like get 7 or 8, and then if you win 11 or 12, you could make more. You could make $13 million, but like there needs to be more of that. So I kind of like how it's structured.
Yeah, I'm good with that. It's weird to hear of that. It was kind of a low ball. We heard Auburn talking with Summerall that might have been a low ball, and then it ends up being about the same. They paid Golesh approximately the same as Summerall. So that might have just been posturing and kind of bullshit, if we're being honest about it. So I'm not real worried about that. I think that's more just agent getting involved with Summerall and saying, here's some questions I have about Auburn, and I think you should have these questions too, because Auburn does have a heritage of being meddlesome with head coaches, as Brian and Hoke.
As John Cohen decide to erase that history, but we know better, don't we, JG and Justin? Come on, man.
If you're an agent for Golesh or anybody, really, you got to be like, hey, man, let me tell you a little something about Auburn. I mean, they may already know that, but
yeah.
If you've been coaching in a different geographic zone, maybe you're not up to date on some of the things that went down, but it's been a while. I mean, I think it's different now a little bit. Yeah. Some would point to the fact that Carnell was pushed on head coach here, but Carnell was a position coach, and I don't know, kind of a different deal. He's not a divisive element at all either. I don't know. I just want to note about the Carnell thing. So, the expectation is that they are going to be able to keep Durkin here, and I think that would be good. That'd help you with roster retention.
Be great.
I think we all think he's a great defensive coordinator.
Yes, we do. And we think the defense is better when he's fully in control. I do. I think it's kind of obvious from what we saw the last 4 weeks, right?
Let's see. James S., last name redacted, who was with me on the drain last night, says, is there any truth to Cohen going in and working on an extension with Durkin with Summerall not knowing about it before he interviewed him?
That's certainly one of the main rumors.
Hokan take that one.
Okay. This depends, I think, on who you ask. There's 2 versions of this. The version from Summerall is what I posted, which was, because by the way, throughout, I was getting some stuff from Auburn, but they were being tight-lipped. So it was getting stuff from a side, an agent side, an industry source side. I was getting some stuff from Auburn. And so if you didn't know it, you did know it. You piece it together. If you don't say anything. There's the version that I posted, which is true. Early last week or this past week, Cohen did go to Summerall and say, we're working on a restructured deal for Durkin as defensive coordinator. And Summerall is telling people like that was some massive shock. But that doesn't pass the sniff test to me, because why would you be close to the finish line and then just drop a bomb, some bomb on Summerall that you never discussed before? That makes no sense to be that close and then go, hey, I know I never told you had to hire DJ, but I'm actually restructuring a deal for him right now, and I wanted to let you know. Like, what? That doesn't make sense. My understanding from what Auburn's side is, there was going to come a point where they had to let DJ know what the plan was, because up until now they did not had conversations with DJ other than in the beginning. They had not let him prepare for Vanderbilt by week, like let him do his job. And it came to a point where when it looked like it was going to be Summerall, Auburn was like, we have to now talk to DJ and go, hey, we're not saying it's not you, but if it's not, we got these other candidates. If it's not, we want you to stay as defensive coordinator. And I think that the candidates we're looking at want you to stay. So we need to talk about a restructured deal. We'd love to give you a new deal as defensive coordinator. That started happening earlier in the week. Like, that conversation needed to happen to kind of warm Durkin up to the idea. I mean, what if he was like, no? They couldn't wait till after the Iron Bowl and just assume he would just say yes. Like, just pop on and go, hey, So we're hiring this guy, and you're staying. Like, they needed to sort of get him used to the idea of that's kind of what it's going to happen. So those conversations started happening with Durkin. And so that makes sense that Cohen would then go to Summerall and say, we're doing this. We're working on this thing. So Summerall's side is like, that was some big shock. That was some big revelation. But that doesn't add up. It makes a lot more sense that Auburn's like, we need to start warming Durkin up to the idea. And then they went to Summerall and said, we're doing this. Now, I don't know how the conversation went. Maybe there was something said that Summerall took the wrong way. Maybe he felt like it was being pressured when it wasn't. Maybe he was like, well, I knew you were going to talk to DJ, but it feels like you're just saying that you're doing the deal. I don't know how that conversation went, but they were starting to work on a restructured deal with DJ. But from Auburn's side, they felt like they needed to start down that path so that come Sunday, they could just go, Summerall, DJ's already agreed. Boom, boom. We're rolling. That was their version of why they needed to have those conversations with DJ. Summerall is saying, I was like caught off guard by this conversation. So
Yeah.
Believe what you want. Believe what you want.
One thing on Summerall, and I think at his press conference Monday, correct? One of the first things he's going to talk about is being process driven. And I know that's what a lot of coaches talk about, but I think Alex Golish is a 12 on a scale of 1 to 10 as far as his process driven philosophy. So that'll be interesting to see how that works. I mean, I've been doing some deep dives and some interviews with him. He talks about how players show up to meetings, how they sleep, how they hydrate, how they sit in meetings, what they wear to meetings, you name it, how the locker room, how they clean up the locker room. So he is going to be a stickler for the details. And I think that will, I don't know how much of a change that's going to be for Auburn culture-wise, maybe a little bit, but that will be interesting to see how that meshes with the current group of players, which I feel like Auburn's had a pretty good culture. Maybe I read it wrong. You know, they are 5-7 again. It's another losing team. But I always felt like this team played together, played hard, did all those things that you'd like to see from a team. They just, didn't win because they didn't get coached up well enough on offense mostly. What do you guys think about this process-driven philosophy and just the hard edge to it? Could it bounce against maybe some guys who are getting paid a lot of money and are 5-star recruits and maybe don't want to be told what to wear? Not saying that's exactly what Golesh is going to tell them to do.
Possibly some blowback there, but I mean, anytime you change the culture like this, there's going to be an adjustment period. My guess is that the players will get in line, because they want to win.
Yes, they do.
These guys really are thirsty to win. I mean, Cam Coleman, I know he's a very highly paid player, but I mean, you could see the disgust in his face, and I know he's personally on the line for some stuff that went bad last night, but they want to win. They were sold on a dream of winning big at Auburn, and so I think that Golesh is going to push that on them, and he's going to say, look, this works. I mean, I've got a body of work here.
Yep.
And I'm about the work. And I think it's going to resonate with a lot of kids. There may have to be some behavioral adjustments made. Yes. But
and I think this process driven is straight from Nick Saban. I think he's really the one that was the king of this, so to speak. Maybe not the first guy to do it, but the guy that really, really did it the right way. And it paid, of course, huge dividends during his career.
Process driven, that sounds great.
Yeah, it's a catch term.
It sounds great. I like it. I would say that would be very much a departure from what you just had. I mean, there was nothing consistent about Hugh Freeze. So if there's consistency with Alex Golish, that would be nice. I think the overall culture at Auburn is good, like big picture in general. I think there's good kids. I mean, I did hear about some stuff this year where there was a lack of accountability with some players and
some positions, I felt like, but yes,
positions and players like off the field too. Just some stuff, not the major, but just like some guys going out a little bit on nights they shouldn't be going out, and nothing really being done about it because they're really good players. And, the good kids, like, I don't even want to make it sound like I'm not going to name them, but they're good dudes. It's something that probably should have been addressed. And wasn't. And I was told that when Durkin took over, he addressed some of that. Like in one of his first team meetings, he addressed some of that, including calling out some players. So I think the culture is decent. I think they're pretty good kids, but I think there could have been more accountability. So if Golesh brings that, then that'd be good.
And I think Golesh and Durkin's, Durkin's philosophies are pretty aligned in that way. I think if they do indeed work together, I think they'll hit it off pretty good.
Yeah, that'd be my guess too. So I love the toughness, man. For me, I thought Durkin was one of the tough guys. I thought Golesh was one of the tough guys. So if I get them both together on one staff, that's double your pleasure. So I think that's going to be great for Auburn. And I'd love to see them. If DJ stays, then you get to keep somebody like Xavier Atkins, and you get to keep guys like Bryce Diaz and guys like New Boy Fagans, and that would be awesome. Elijah Melendez. I like these. There's some studs, man. Eric Winters. Auburn's got some really good young players.
They got to shore up the D line, but the rest of that defense coming back right now looks pretty darn good.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of just kind of the roster retention side. It's big. Keeping Durkin would be big. It's not just defensive guys. There's offensive guys that like him too, and so it would. It's not the end all be all. It can't be the end all be all. Like, it's one roster. It's a group of guys now, and like I don't know if you guys have noticed, but Auburn didn't win much the last 2 years. I'm not gonna totally blame the players. Like they're talented players. I'm not saying like they suck, but anyway. So like you want to keep certain guys, no question, but it can't be the end all be all. But John Cohen, I know that his stance is like win now. That's what he's told the candidates. He's told them this is not a rebuilding job. We have a good roster, and the expectation is that you come in and that you do our best to retain. You can't blame Alex Golish if guys leave. That's not on him. But now it is if he like comes in and directly messes something up. But he's told them, like he told candidates, we're winning now. There's no rebuild. Our program and our people are ready to win like right now. So the expectations for these guys is not to come in and be like, all right, I got a year, like Hugh, got 3 years. I got to build this thing. Like if Alex Golish walks in here and goes, I think it'll take 3 years, I'd be like, what just happened? That's not what should come out of his mouth, and that's not the expectation. It will depend on keeping some players, but the expectation is to win, man. The program's ready to win. There's support ready. Like there's some good infrastructure there set to like to win now. This is not like give it a couple years.
Yeah. And he's going to look, Golesh and his folks are going to be able to get offensive talent in here if they need it. If Deuce Knight's not the answer, or if he wants to leave, Cam Coleman, et cetera, I think they'll be able to get players on that side of the ball, no doubt about it. And if you keep DJ, I think you'll be able to get guys on that side of the ball too.
Deuce Knight may be the guy next year for Auburn. If they want to go that direction. If I grade the last 3 games, I'm putting Deuce Knight at the top of my list. Just to be honest, I'll do respect Ashton Daniels.
It puts Ashton in a weird spot.
But plus,
I like Deuce.
I'm looking at, hey, what can happen over the next 9 months too in Deuce Knight's development. Right. Ashton Daniels will be year 5 for him. This will be year 2 for Deuce Knight in college. I saw what he did against Mercer, yes, but you can certainly see that potential and that upside for him.
I don't know where I stand on that. I would go into the spring, like, let's assume Deuce comes back. I'd go into the spring thinking, Ashton's the guy and Deuce has got to go beat him out for now. I like Ashton a lot, but I just haven't seen enough of Deuce. Mercer does not count. I'm sorry. Mercer does not count. I cannot watch that game and be like, whoa. It's Mercer. Like, their dudes were so slow on defense. So I'm not dogging Deuce. I'm just saying I can't watch that game and go, wow, like Deuce is going to be special. I don't know that yet. I don't know. But
I like him a lot, but it's going to be up to Golesh now.
Yep.
Let's see what he
does.
He's
Man,
a
you
wild
just does
buddy.
kind of remind me of a Tennessee quarterback, right? Can just sling it down the field, you know. And Auburn does have those receivers who should be able to be big play receivers who get behind defenses and make really good catches and do all those things that Tennessee likes to do with their receivers. So we'll see. We'll see how it works out. Long way to go. Long way to go. We don't know. We don't know what that quarterback room will look like a month from now. So we'll see.
Man, South Florida was 1-8 during COVID, 2-10 in 2021,
Yep.
1-11.
Yep.
I mean,
Four
you
wins in 3
cannot
years.
get any worse
Yep.
than that. And then Golesh's first year, 1-11 to 7-6 to
Yep.
7-6 to 9-3. I don't know
Right.
I mean, can't predict the future, but geez, like a program that for 3 years was just
Yeah.
trash, and he did nothing but have winning seasons and then go 9-3.
Yeah.
Man.
I know, dude. That's the thing. The Summerall people, to me, Golesh and Summerall are very similar. Similar track records, and people say, "Oh, he missed on Summerall. They're in trouble." I'm like, I don't know. Golesh is right there with him for me. So they're getting paid about the same. They have kind of similar backgrounds. Although I like Golesh's better in some ways because he's been a recruiting coordinator and he's been around programs that have been, like being around Matt Campbell. Like that guy, coaches love Matt Campbell and respect the shit out of him. So that's a great guy to kind of come up under. So yeah, he's and Josh Heupel offensively. I mean, he's finally the guy that's getting the job done at Tennessee. Although they got beat by Vandy yesterday, but whatever.
Oh, they got trounced. Good gosh.
Yeah, they did. They got pushed around late. But Tennessee's the offense has been there, and I think he's getting them out from that. What was it? 2 decades of just mediocrity.
Yeah.
That was one of the criticisms of Summerall on the bunker, was that he didn't really have any heritage with a program that was the kind that you would look at and say, "Oh wow, that guy's really good," because he kind of came up under his own at Troy and and now at Tulane, and Golesh has worked for some good folks. And the chatter was that he actually was a GA for a Trooper back in the day, many years ago. So I'd love to see Trooper Taylor back. Oklahoma State, I think it was.
Wow, that's great. How about that? Yeah.
Yeah, I would love to see Troop back. He's the man.
Troop, man. That was I like Troop. Wow.
I'm just saying he's a very animated and fun dude. I mean, so.
So I can't remember if we talked about this, but I guess we did in our opening. But moved from Russia to the States, New York at 6 years old. Then moved to Dublin, Ohio, when he was it 9, 10, 11 years old. Started out as a high school coach. So he is kind of one of those guys that has sort of worked his way up on his own in a lot of ways, right? He hasn't, he wasn't born into it. He wasn't a star player or anything like that. He has just worked his way up the coaching ladder from high school to Ohio State student assistant, all the way now to the Auburn football head coach. I kind of like self-made men like that running your program. I think to me that's kind of a cornerstone of what you think about Auburn football, right? Hard work, dedication, the Creed, type stuff. Alex Golish to me has kind of lived that life in a way. I don't know a lot about him personally, of course, but it seems to me like he could be a really good fit here in that respect.
I did not know you were a Creed monster, B-Man.
Dude, heck yeah.
Yeah.
Amazing.
I mean, I do make fun of it, right? But there are some things, the hard work, all that stuff is really good. The fact that it still resonates hundreds plus years later, I just think that's really impressive to me.
Yeah, I like it too.
The whole hard work thing, that's
fine. Come on, man. Don't be trashing the Auburn Creed.
No, it's good. I mean, it's just the way you said it. You were like the whole hard work thing. It's fine. It's a what do you guys? So last night, I really didn't know when I posted last night. I knew the team meeting. I posted all the details, but man, they kept it tight-lipped. Like until freaking it broke, nobody knew. They were trying to get to the team meeting at 10 without it breaking. And some agent leaked it. It broke like 5 minutes before they could get the team. So really, it was fine. They pretty much could tell the team. They could tell the team on time. Durkin, when people thought it was Durkin last night, yikes. That I was a little surprised. I mean, I thought Durkin had decent support the last few weeks. I thought people were like kind of okay. I don't know. I don't know if it was the loss that changed things, but man, the reaction to that was
Yeah.
brutal there for a little while.
Yeah, I thought that's where it was headed. I mean, Golesh, I didn't. I mean, he was on our hot board the whole time, but
No doubt.
I mean, do you think it was truly a win and end situation for Dirk last night? Let's say he wins 35-10. Do you think he's the head coach right now, Hogue? It's possible.
There was a really good source throughout this process that had very good intel that said on maybe Friday that said if Auburn wins, Durkin's getting the job. And I was like, okay. I mean, I don't know. I mean, but good source. And then when I asked somebody at Auburn on Saturday, they were like, it's not that simple. They were like, if he wins or loses, it's not literally he wins, he gets the job. He loses, he literally doesn't get the job. It was like, there's variables here. It can't just be about the one outcome. We're watching these other coaches, these other outcomes. So it would be tough if you win that game. Here, my thought was if you win the game, I told Brian this in the press box. If you win, you got to think about the emotion and the feeling of that. Think about the boosters that do like DJ, the people that give money to the roster that like DJ, that if the emotions and the feelings that they would be feeling if you win, there'd be phone calls being made to Cohen going, you're hiring that guy. And so it's almost like, I don't know what Cohen would have done, but you start getting some guys going, all right, you're keeping him. He won the Iron Bowl. He beat Alabama. You're keeping him. Cohen might not have had a choice. I mean, he could have bucked him and said, hold on, guys, I'm going to hire Golesh and I'm going to keep DJ as DC. And maybe that would have been okay with those people, but there would have been a lot of pressure to hire him, even if Cohen wasn't sure about it.
Apparently, Coach Golesh and his family will make their first Tiger walk down Donahue Drive at 11:45 a.m. I guess this is tomorrow. Yes. Fans encouraged to be there Monday at Tiger Walk Plaza starting at 11 a.m. He'll be there with the cheerleaders, the band, and Aubie. Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
That's new. That is. Wow. Okay. Interesting.
They were. By the way, I haven't
Our
even
press
said,
conference is at noon.
Yeah. I should
What
have
introduction?
Well, I should have. Oh, there we go. I see it. I should have said that at the start. I'm in my car because as I told Jay Tate, I was peak coach searching this morning.
Yeah, he was.
I mean, I'm in my car. Because I am still in the parking lot at the Auburn Airport.
And what can you tell us about that? Don't you have some more information on that you want to share?
Yeah, and I tweeted out, but I was here, and probably 20 minutes after I got here, I was told there was an Auburn plane here scheduled to leave to Tampa. So I found it. I go down there, and I'm like, there's the plane, and it's sitting there. I walked in the terminal, didn't see anybody. So I'm like, I'm going to go back out my car, and so I can get a good view of the terminal. I can see if this plane takes off. And then 5 minutes after this thing broke, I looked to my left, and the plane starts rolling, and it was taking off to go get him. So it was, they wanted to potentially try to get him here for the meeting, like at 10, or for the recruits at 10:30, like actually have him walk in. But that would have been hard logistically. Also, that would have been really weird if you don't have the Durkin thing figured out, because you walk in and go, I'm your head coach. And they're like, cool, where's DJ? And he's like, we're working on that. That probably would have been a bad idea.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't have any. I mean, I've got a little bit of intel on the player side. They had the team meeting, obviously. There's a team meeting at 2 where Golesh will be back, and he's going to meet the new team at 2. I think, and I was told that there's a push from the administration and Cohen to the coaches to make sure those kids are there, because it's a little bit weird right now. The season's done, and some of those kids might have wanted DJ, and they might not know who Alex Golish is. They might be like, I don't really know anything about him. So it's weird. Like,
Yeah.
Do you got to get them. I mean, there can be players right now going, I might enter the portal. I don't want to go to a team meeting. I don't even know if I'll be a part of it. Like, I'm not saying this isn't against Alex Golish. I'm just saying it's the reality of the season's done. The portal could open, and there's going to have to be a concerted effort to try to get that entire team in that meeting, including guys that may be like, I don't know who he is. I was thinking about entering the portal anyway. Why do I need to be at a team meeting? It just, it'll be interesting. He's got a chance to win them over if they can get them all there. But I think it's important that those coaches, because those coaches, their season's done, right? Like they're what incentive do they have? They're not. Some of those guys are like, I'm not going to be retained. It's a weird deal, man. It's a weird deal.
Yeah. Some of those guys might already be looking to get out, or might not be happy with the hire. You just never know.
You're asking them right now to do a job that, like, I don't even know how their contract works. Like, you're asking them to do a job right now that they might not even have, and get players to a meeting that they might not even be accountable for in 2 weeks. It's an interesting situation.
Without a doubt. And you got to hope that some of these coaches don't badmouth Golesh.
Yeah.
That could be happening. Could happen. I'm just saying in theory. And that'd be bad professionalism, in my opinion.
Would be.
What would be the motive there? Like, what would be?
Yeah.
Being a dick. I don't know.
Some guys are always about themselves, right?
Mm-hmm.
Why would you badmouth especially Golesh? I mean, if you know nothing, he's been involved with some pretty prolific offenses. So if I'm a quarterback or if I'm a wide receiver, like, you don't even have to, at the minimum, you're really intrigued, and you're at that meeting and you're like, there's, and at the max, you're like, dude, you're jacked. You think about, he was at Tennessee, right? With Hendon Hooker. Think about that offense with Cam Cole. Like, think about the catches and the receivers on the team and the way that offense operated, and toss Cam into that. Toss, even somebody like Eric Singleton, somebody like a big target like Cam, you toss him into that type of system and that type of offense, that's enticing to me, man. But,
yeah, for sure. I mean, just look at the record, particularly if you're on the offensive side of the ball. So, yeah, there's some folks in the chat that are bad mouthing the hire, but most people seem okay with it.
Are there any good questions that we haven't answered that are going to be tossed in there?
I mean,
what's the bad mouth? What's the argument against that's like terrible job? I don't like.
He sucks.
I don't like how it went. I don't.
He sucks.
Okay.
Yeah,
G5.
I mean that's all you need to know, Hoke. He sucks. Overrated. Hasn't done anything. Can't beat Navy.
I mean,
I couldn't beat the U.S. Navy. Could y'all? I mean, what's the big deal?
Also
here?
hasn't beaten Ohio State. Hasn't beat Penn State. I'm just kidding. I'm just making the shit up there, but it's just.
Yeah, you got to look beyond. You got to look beyond that. You got to go. All right, what's he working with? What's he done? How's he built this thing? And then, all right, if I put him in a program like Auburn, can you build on that? Can you take what you're about, the process? Can you take what you're about? And if I give you the players and I give you the resources and the commitment, can you produce 9-3 in the SEC? If you do, you're on the 9-3. You're knocking on the door of the playoff. Like you're maybe in if you pull that stuff off consistently.
Yeah, someone asked, what are the odds Cody comes back? I'd say 99%. I don't know. I mean, that seems like
100.
Yeah.
I'd say 100. 100.
Yeah.
Man, this guy Janoris in the chat says I'm a sunshine pumper, Hoke. That's all I do.
I'm not even that, man. Listen, I'm not a sunshine pumper. So I feel like if I'm like, hey, there's some potential here. I don't know. Believe me.
I'm just
looking for
tired
planes,
of covering.
man.
Yeah, I'm just tired of covering the losing team. Yeah.
I think they're going to be. I don't know. I need to check it. I mean, I don't know what they're probably. Well, they left it a little before 10, so they had to just be getting into Tampa about now, probably, right?
Yeah, I think they
Depending
landed
on the
about.
plane. It could be about an hour and a half, 2 hours, right?
Well, I think I know they landed. They landed in the last 30 minutes or so. down in
Well,
Tampa.
I've noticed some. I might as well just stay here at this point. I noticed some people that pulled up there. It looked like some people with Auburn jacket. Look like camera people, social media, videographer, people like that. I think that might get some good little video of him coming off the plane and be able to put it out. And I don't think they want a bunch of people here, but maybe a couple of cheerleaders show up. Actually, I need to check on that because I was told they may be closing the airport. Am I grandfathered in if I'm already here?
Hell yeah, you are. You can't close an
Gotta
airport.
get in a lobby.
You can't close an airport.
That's what I was told. Well, because I see an Auburn police officer. All of a sudden, there's an Auburn cop kind of hovering around that hadn't been here, and I was told they may close the airport. But I'm like, you can't. Maybe you don't let people in the terminal, but can you block off the parking lot? Like,
I mean, last time I checked, that's a public institution. Well, I don't know. Maybe I don't know. Who knows?
I'm in. You're gonna have to kick me out now. At this point, I'm already in. I need to go. Maybe park in a parking spot. I do look a little bit. I'm just by a curb. I look like I don't belong, but it looks sketchy maybe. But at this point, I might as well just wait and see if he shows up. Like, see if he's here, man.
It might be another hour though.
I hope people show up for this Tiger Walker. It's going to look really silly.
Well, they need to just do it. It doesn't need to be like a real Tiger Walk. It needs to start like, turn in here. It needs to start like at the baseball stadium and just walk across the street. That's what it needs to happen.
Yeah, just go to Plains and Park.
Get enough people, like however many people show up. That's how long the line needs to be, so it looks, great. Don't make him walk down all of Donahue waving to like random people on the sidewalk.
They'll be able to get enough people there. I promise you. They'll get it there. Be Matt.
All right. Well,
I know. Be Matt.
We'll be there with our little videos. Little phones taking video. We'll definitely be there.
That's funny.
Making our little comments. Yeah.
Yeah. Some people pulling up with Auburn tags. Maybe they recruited a few people to clap for him when he gets off the plane. I don't know. I saw a few when I was here. There were two. I wonder if they're watching. There were two guys that were here, look like fans in Auburn jackets and Auburn hats. They parked and they just walked up to the fence, and I'm like, they're totally trying to scout this out because they had Auburn gear on, and they're standing by the fence and they're on the phone, and then they walked into the terminal. They're the only two people I've seen, so credit to them for those two fans for like being the diehards of like, can we get a look or can we figure out if this dude's here or not.
I hope nobody was holding "We want a leader, not a loser" sign or anything like that. We don't need that again at the Auburn airport.
Interesting tidbit, by the way. And I see this, and I was told this yesterday. I didn't realize it, but so Golesh's agent is so interesting. Golesh, Silverfield, Summerall, all the same agent.
Mm-hmm.
Amazing.
And he is, from what I understand, his name's Clint Dowdle. He used to work for Sexton. He does not anymore. And from what I understand, they are
at odds.
At odds.
Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah. So that's that dude. That dude, I guess, got it. Big day for him, man. 3 of his clients go
huge.
Arkansas, Auburn, Florida.
Yep.
What has Lane Kiffin officially gone to LSU yet? Is that a thing?
Yeah, that's done. I think the most recent report looks like he's putting together his offensive staff and telling his assistants at Ole Miss, like, if you're not on the plane, you don't have a spot.
Oh. And so who goes to Ole Miss then?
I know, dude. That's why I think this was so tight-lipped with Auburn, because Golesh was a candidate at Ole Miss. I think Summerall looked like he was going to Florida, and Golesh was in talks with Ole Miss. Like, they were in play there, and I think Auburn last night was like, I think the reason everything was so tight-lipped was they were like, we have to get Golesh. We have to make sure that Ole Miss doesn't. We got to get him. And I think you just heard nothing because they were pretty, like, it was important. Like they really felt like they've got to land him, and nothing can leak and nothing can screw this up. But I don't know where Ole Miss goes. I mean, can you still get Drinkwitz? Do you want Drinkwitz?
I mean, I think he signed his deal, but I don't know that for fact.
So he did, but my understanding about these deals that are signed is they're just placeholders. I mean, like his buyout's probably exactly what it was. Probably didn't even change. So like you could still just get him. It's not like his buyout changed. I mean, it would look bad, maybe, but you know, if he's leaving, who cares? I could easily see him. I mean, who else is out there? Where do you go if you're Ole Miss? I mean,
Jimbo Fisher.
Jimbo. Like really, who are the guys? I mean, I don't know.
Derek Nix.
I mean, do you even want Drinkwitz's offensive guy? I don't know if Ole Miss fans would be thrilled about that, but that's not a bad hire if you're Ole Miss.
Guy Fawkes thinks they might just promote Joe Judge, who's already there, you know.
Yeah, it looks like Golding's going to stay as DC at Ole Miss.
Dan Mullen's a possibility. Doubt that Ole Miss would hire him, though, right? With his Mississippi State tie.
That would be pretty wild.
What about Penn State? What are they going to do? I know that's not really an Auburn problem.
Oh, the best rumor, and obviously it didn't happen, was if Auburn beat Alabama, the Alabama coach, Kalen DeBoer, would go to Penn State. So that would have been crazy. And then Lane Kiffin was holding out on his announcements because he thought the Alabama job would open up so he could come to Alabama.
Oh.
And I was like, if that happened, that would be one of the most insane things I've seen in college athletics for my 25-year history, right? That would be incredible if something like that happened.
I mean, the stuff we're seeing this morning was be mad. I think
pretty
some of the
wild.
crazy stuff we've ever seen. Yeah,
it's pretty wild. Yeah,
a lot of dominoes falling here, there, and everywhere
quickly. Yep, very quickly.
Like when Silverfield got hired at Arkansas, I was like, "Uh-oh,
boom, boom, boom." Yep,
that means Golesh is coming to Auburn." And sure,
that was the tipper. We were hearing Golesh, and I was trying to confirm if it would have waited until I wasn't going to be able to. Yeah, there's band members showing up, by the way.
All right.
I wasn't going to get it confirmed until after the team meeting. They weren't going to they wanted to have the team meeting before it got out. And so right before that, we started hearing Golesh. And then when Silverfield broke on top of that, I was like, it's done. Then that's it. It's done. Because Golesh was higher on the list than Silverfield at Arkansas. So if they went to Silverfield, then clearly Golesh had said, I'm out. And Arkansas moved to Silverfield. That made
JG apparently just said he's out, and we'd like to wish JG
really
nothing but the best. Oh, there he is.
My bad.
Band members showing up. Yeah, I might just stay here at this point, I guess. And maybe nobody else will show up. I'm trying to get a story up on.
Good luck.
Trying to get a story up just outlining. I put out some of the incentive stuff, the contract, but I just wanted to put something together that sort of details. It looks like it's going to be, I think I read it. It looks like over at 9 wins, it escalates, things like that. So I'm going to try to get this out so it's a little bit more, it's a little bit clear. I don't know the buyout, but I mean, I guess we should probably, you never know, probably should start thinking about the buyout, you know?
Yeah, but I bet it's not real big. Not going to be no $60 million buyout. Maybe it should be, though.
Yeah.
When he starts winning big, you know what I'm saying? All right.
Yeah, there's been some talk about USF's quarterback. I haven't, but they've got a really good quarterback that may come with him, right?
I don't know.
Byron Brown, I was told. I think that's who it is. Pretty good player.
I'm taking a look here. Do we know? I feel like I heard that name before. Yeah, Byron Brown. He can run the football too. It says he's a senior. I don't know how many years that means. Senior means something different than it did when I was a kid. Yeah, I can't really tell.
What else? Do we need to hit on anything else? Any good questions in there? We kind of.
No, I think I pretty much said it. It's just kind of people either liking Golesh hire or hating Golesh hire, and just kind of going at it that way. including a guy named
Yeah.
Janoris who says that Auburn fans need to not go to Tiger Walk to show their disdain for this hire. Get him, Janoris.
Y'all gotta relax, man. I mean, I think if you want to be mad about the Summerall thing, then be mad about it. Like I'm not gonna tell you. I mean, that they wanted to get him, that didn't work out. If you want to put that on Auburn, I can't stop you. I don't know. I mean, I don't know how much I would bash them for that. Maybe they could have seen the future and said, "Hey, if this is our guy, let's just do it. Let's not even mess around with anybody. Let's just do it." But you got to do your due diligence. You got to talk to other people. You got to talk to some other candidates twice. You got to agree to terms with these guys. I mean, there's a process that's got to happen. So I don't know that they could have done it any quicker, and they thought they were in good position, and it just went south. So I don't know. If you want to knock them for that, go for it. But past that, I think Golesh is a really good candidate. And the staff, I think the staff is the next step. If you watch how the staff builds out, and you're like, okay, and you start, I think people could change their tune if you retain Durkin and Vontrell stays, and and some important people stay, and then he brings, whatever. The way the staff comes together, I think, will matter to people. Where you go, okay, I like kind of the big picture of this thing, and then we shift to the roster, and we start going, who does it look like's leaving and staying? And if you start to get some news that some important guys are staying, then I think people get a little bit more optimistic. If you start to get news that guys are leaving, then maybe you get a little pessimistic about it. But I don't know. Take a wait and see approach a little bit. Cheerleaders are showing up, by the way. Band members are showing up. So
You were ahead of the curve, Hoke.
Man, I'm gonna work on not getting kicked out of this airport.
Out.
I'm just gonna go walk in the terminal. I need to go to the restroom anyway. I need to go in there, and I'm gonna go in there until they kick me out, dude.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, you want to wrap it up there, Hoke? Matt?
Yeah, that's fine.
Yep. I'm good.
All right, guys. Thanks for joining our live stream today, where we talked about Alexander Golesh, the next coach at Auburn.
All right. See you guys.
All right.
Later.
Peace.